Welcome back, America. We're here, I have to tell you, with a great friend, Victor Davis Hanson, the Hoover Institution Senior Fellow. I call him America's wise man, and God knows we've needed him, especially now. Victor, first of all, if you can tell us, because my audience loves you. They admire you, they adore you, and they would like to know where you've been and what you've been through.
Well, about 10 weeks ago, I had surgery for a lung cancer, and they had to remove the right lobe. And it was a very rare one, so the mutations can't be treated with chemo or immunotherapy. So I'm just waiting now to make sure they got it. And I'm on a regimen of every 90 days they give me a CT scan and a blood biopsy to see if it's come back or not. Hope it doesn't. And then I had a second operation. A few minutes later, I had an aneurysm, unfortunately, where I had a bleed. And so the surgeon quite expertly went right back in, took out the sutures very quickly, and I had 6 blood transfusions. So I got pretty weak and anemic, and I think right now at week 10, most of my problems are the anemia, loss of blood volume, atrial fibrillation, and things like that. But I'm hoping that it's going to get better, and so I don't want to look back. I just want to look forward. And you know, you deal with the cards that are dealt to you. That's what the motto is. You just press on and look ahead. Everything takes care of itself.
Well, you're a remarkable man in so many respects. You really are. And I want to ask you a question. We'll get down into this. From your perspective, which is very, very significant as a great historian, number one, has the president done the right thing? Number two, how's it going? Number three, why work with our ally, Israel?
Yeah, I think every president, all 7 presidents before him, had said that Iran could not get nuclear, and when they left office, it was closer and stronger than when they entered. Nobody wanted to. Everybody said that the mouse was going to be eaten by the cat, but nobody wanted to bell the cat and warn anybody. It was only Donald Trump who did this. It was quite a courageous move because he's got midterms coming up. The economy was starting to get back from the Biden problems, and he's gambled a lot politically. But I think it's worth it. As far as the progress of the war, I'd like to preface that, Mark. We don't have reporters inside Iran, and if the ones that we do have from CNN are there under express conditions that they can only report things that favor the regime. And most of the media, as you've pointed out, is negative. It's left center. So we're not getting an accurate picture. So the only nexus that we have that we can compare things are prior wars. The first Gulf War is a good example. It was 42 days long, and it was mostly an air campaign. The ground campaign was only 4 days. It was much easier to take out Saddam Hussein. It was a much smaller country in area and population than Iran. And he didn't, we lost a lot more. We lost about 300 for accidents and actual battle losses in that war, even though there was only 4 days on the ground. So we haven't fought that long. We haven't lost nearly that many. And we basically demilitarized a country that was much more formidable than Iraq. And I think Donald Trump, who campaigned on a reluctance to have forever wars, is not going to, as the left says, get bogged down in a ground attack in Iran. And so the question now, though, is what's the end game? And very quickly, I think there's 3 alternatives. And they're all better, by the way, than what was there before. The first is that he does so much damage to the regime and its military infrastructure that the people at some point get energized and want a constitutional system, and they remove the regime with or without American help, further help. And then the second is the Venezuela situation, where some defector or some strong person from the military comes up and says, I'm not going to have theocratic connections. I just want to be a normal country with a status of most of the pretty much autocratic regimes, but that would be an improvement and maybe a transition to democracy later on. And then the third is we do so much damage, and this isn't my preference, but this is what some people who support the war are saying. We do so much damage that it will take 10 or 15 years. The problem with that, I think, is that we have no idea how quickly they will rearm with Chinese, North Korean, and Russian help. So let's hope the first two alternatives happen. I think there's a good chance they will.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.